and I'm here in the county borough of Neath Port Talbot to talk to you about a proposal which, if you're a council tenant of a home that needs improvements, or maybe your estate is in need of a boost, the council believes is the answer for you and the next generation of tenants. It's called housing transfer, and the council believes that as things stand, it is the best way to help ensure that homes are brought up to the Welsh Housing Quality Standard and kept that way for future generations. But transfer can only happen if secure and introductory tenants of the council vote in favour of the proposal and the Welsh ministers grant their consent. So later this year you'll be asked to vote on these proposals in a ballot. You should have already received the council's formal offer document, which contains detailed information on what transfer would mean for you and your home and services. The offer document will help you to reach a decision about the transfer proposal, so please make time to read it. So why is the council consulting tenants on the option to transfer? Old kitchens and bathrooms, fencing that's past its best, estates crying out for modernisation. The council has been doing its best, but like all other councils in Wales, it must bring homes up to Welsh Housing Quality Standard. To do this, around £152 million of investment is needed. The council currently projects it will only have around £40 million. That's a shortfall of around £112 million. A lack of funds and strict borrowing rules mean the council currently cannot borrow all the money that's needed. But there is another way. The council believes that transferring the ownership and management of its homes to a new, not-for-profit, local community housing mutual-type organisation it's helping to set up, called NPT Homes, holds the answer. This new landlord would not be subject to the same strict financial rules as currently apply to the council, and would therefore have greater borrowing power than the council. So much so that it would plan to invest around £152 million in the first 6 years alone. As I've said, this is around £112 million more than the council currently projects it could afford in the same period of time. That's a real difference, and it means the improvements in homes and services tenants have been crying out for would become possible.
What I would really like is a modernised kitchen. We live in sheltered housing, and we'd love to see our combi boilers being replaced. I've got a young family. Would I still have the right to buy my home if the transfer proposal goes ahead? What I really want in my house is no windows.
Well, that's what some tenants are hoping for. But could the proposed transfer really help to make all this happen? And how does it work? These are questions councillors asked when they first started to look at the transfer option. So you can hear the answers for yourselves, I've come here to the council's offices to talk to Councillor Peter Rees, Cabinet Member for Social Care, Health and Housing, and Robert Rees, the council's Head of Housing. Robert, what type of improvements would tenants get after transfer?
Well, transfer would help to provide around 2,400 new bathrooms and 3,700 new kitchens. Many tenants would also get new external front and back doors and modern central heating to help reduce energy bills.
So why can't the council do all this for tenants then?
It's very simple. Like lots of other local authorities, the council currently does not have access to the money needed to do all of that work. At the moment, an average of £10.53 of each tenant's weekly rent goes to the Treasury to help support council housing nationally. So we can't use the rent to borrow money and finance improvements. The council projects that it will be around £112 million short of the cash needed to bring its homes up to the standard that tenants and the council want to see in the next 6 years alone. As things stand, we simply cannot afford to improve homes up to the same standard that the proposed transfer would help to deliver.
Now, I know how hard the council works for its residents and tenants with the money it has available, but £152 million is a huge amount. Peter, can you explain why the council is proposing transfer?
The cost of delivering the housing service is going up, while the money we currently have available is not going up at the same rate. We have looked at all the options open to us, and as things stand, Transfer is the only way to deliver good quality homes and services now and in the future. We have thought long and hard about this, but we firmly believe the proposed transfer is in the best interests of our tenants and our staff. I know that sounds a bit ominous, and we certainly don't want to scare tenants. We want to be honest with tenants. Staying with the council does not mean things will carry on as they have done in recent years. Our current projections show that it would mean we would have a limited improvement programme, and we wouldn't meet the Welsh Assembly Government's Welsh Housing Quality Standard. No new kitchens or bathrooms. Fewer blocks of flats would have improvements to their communal areas. Fewer eligible elderly and vulnerable tenants would have their halls, stairs and landings redecorated or be able to access the garden maintenance service. Less money would be available for environmental improvements. Evening and Saturday morning repair appointments would not be considered, and in the longer term, lower quality services with more savings having to be made year on year, a projected total of around £67 million over the next 30 years. We want tenants to have a secure future, and that's why we are proposing transfer. We are convinced that if things remain as they are now, transfer is the best way forward.
Thank you both very much indeed. Now, of course, if transfer did go ahead, it would mean the council would no longer own or run your home or manage the housing service. That job would go to the new landlord, NPT Homes. So let's take a look at how this new organisation would work. NPT Homes would be a brand new independent housing organisation based on a community housing mutual model set up with the help of the council to own and manage your homes. It would be responsible for everything the council's housing service is responsible for now, from making repairs and improvements to collecting rent or dealing with antisocial behaviour and more. The key difference is the new landlord would have access to the money and resources required to really get things done. NPT Homes would be a community housing mutual type organisation, which means all tenants of NPT Homes can become members. NPT Homes will be collectively owned by its members, putting tenants at the heart of the new organisation. The council's housing staff that you already know and trust would move across to NPT Homes with their current terms and conditions protected by law, so you'd still see the same familiar faces. Like the council, NPT Homes would be a not-for-profit organisation. It would also be a charity. So you can be sure that all your rent money would be spent in accordance with the organisation's charitable objects, for example, on improving your homes and services for you. It would also be allowed to keep all its rental income and not have to pay the estimated £5 million of rental income that the council currently has to pay to the Treasury each year. NPT Homes will be run by a management board made up of 5 tenants, 5 council nominees and 5 independent members. Now I'm here at the council's show home in Velindre, and I'm joined by a tenant, Roger Williams, who's already playing a big part in NPT Homes. So Roger, tell me how you're involved with the new landlord.
Hi Sarah, I'm the Vice Chair on the Shadow Board of NPT Homes. We've been busy drawing up plans and proposals and listening to what tenants want in their area so that we can hit the ground running if tenants say yes to transfer and the transfer goes ahead.
And Roger, why were you so keen to get involved?
I just felt it was time that tenants got a better deal, to be honest. Lots of us have been saying for a long time that the housing service needs improving. It's obvious that we need change.
And do you think transfer is the best way of delivering that change?
Yes, I do. And many tenants who are involved in the transfer process think so. We've been to other areas where housing transfers have taken place and seen for ourselves the real difference transfer has made. Speaking to tenants from these areas and looking around their homes and estates, we've seen the promises made to them have been kept. Transfer is about so much more than bricks and mortar. It's about helping to create neighbourhoods that are clean, green and safe, and tenants have been telling us this is what they want to see. That is why we would also give tenants more say over improvements they want to see in their neighbourhoods.
Now, you live in Sandfields, so you obviously know that area like the back of your hand. But what if I'm a tenant in, say, Neath or Pontardawe? How can I be sure that NPT Homes would make the right decisions for my area?
Well, obviously, tenants' needs may differ depending on where they live. But if transfer went ahead, there would be more money available to ensure that local concerns are dealt with within the first 6 years after transfer. NPT Homes would plan to invest around £13.5 million on environmental and security improvements, i.e. the things tenants want to see in their neighbourhoods, such as new fences and boundary walls, lighting on estates and more car parking and play areas. In addition, NPT Homes plan to set up a dedicated antisocial behaviour team to take quicker and more effective action. This is across the whole of Neath and Port Talbot area, from Gwancai Gyrwen to Abergwynfi and Glynneath to Croeseru. Tenants have told us these issues are important to them. NPT Homes would make sure their voices are heard wherever they live.
It won't be long now until tenants get to vote on transfer. What would be your advice to them?
Make sure you find out all the facts and then use your vote. This is a really, really important decision. Please don't forget to have your say.
Roger, thank you. Okay, by now you're hopefully starting to get a fuller picture of what the proposed transfer is all about. Earlier today, some tenants put their questions to the chair of NPT Homes, Philip Richards, Vice Chair Roger and Board Member Councillor Peter Rees.
How can we be sure that our rents won't go shooting up after transfer?
This is the big issue for many tenants I talk to. The simple answer is that increases in rents would still be regulated by the Welsh Assembly Government, just as council rent increases are now, but you would get much more for your money with NPT Homes.
At the moment, the council can't make any promises on rents. If homes stay with the council and things remain as now, we would have to look at increasing rents to the benchmark level in the next 6 years, which would mean higher rent increases for existing tenants than if transfer went ahead.
Would I still be able to buy my home if the transfer proposal goes ahead?
Yes, this is because if you currently have the right to buy your home now with the council, you'd still be able to do so after transfer. In fact, tenants would keep all their key rights and entitlements, such as the right to pass on their home, the right to take in lodgers and so on. They would all be preserved if transfer goes ahead, and you would continue to have security of tenure. All this would be set out in a new legally binding tenancy agreement with NPT Homes. Your entitlement to claim housing benefit would not be affected by the transfer either.
Lots of us have got to know the council staff over the years, and we've grown to trust them. What would happen to these staff?
Well, if transfer went ahead, council staff currently working in providing the housing service would move across to NPT Homes, so the staff that you would normally see would still deliver the housing service after the transfer. They'd probably be wearing new uniforms, but it would still be the same team.
How would NPT Homes be able to pay for all the planned improvements that have been promised? If the council can't afford it, how could this new organisation?
NPT Homes would have more resources than the council, and there are a number of reasons for this. Firstly, we wouldn't face the same government rules and restrictions as the council currently does when it comes to borrowing. Secondly, the Treasury would write off the existing debt of the council incurred in building and maintaining your homes. This debt currently amounts to around £35 million. In addition, the Welsh Assembly Government would provide financial support of up to £186 million to NPT Homes. Thirdly, if transfer went ahead, all the money the tenants pay in rent would stay with NPT Homes and could get ploughed straight back into improving homes and the housing services. Unlike the council, NPT Homes would not have to pay the estimated £5 million of tenants' rent money to the Treasury each year. This all means that we could afford to borrow the extra money needed from banks and building societies, something the council currently cannot do.
What would NPT Homes do about antisocial behaviour? That is something that worries all of us.
You're raising a very important point. Transfer is not just about giving tenants better homes, but also about improving estates and the local environment, so that people can feel really proud of where they live. Lots of tenants have been telling us this, and Transfer could deliver more resources to deal with such issues. NPT Homes would plan to invest around £13.5 million in the first 6 years to improve the environment and security of tenants' estates and neighbourhoods. NPT Homes would consult its tenants on what this money should be spent on, but improvements could include such things as fencing and boundary walls, extra parking provision, estate external lighting, and landscaping and more play areas. NPT Homes is also intending to set up a dedicated antisocial behaviour team to take quicker and more effective action.
How do we know if these promises will be kept? At least for the council we know what we're getting.
If tenants vote yes, all the promises set out in the formal offer document would be written into a legally binding agreement between the council and NPT Homes. You can be absolutely sure of that. This means NPT Homes would be required to deliver the promises the council made to tenants in the formal offer document. NPT Homes would also be registered with and regulated by the Welsh Assembly Government, the regulator of all registered social landlords in Wales. The Welsh Assembly Government would monitor NPT Homes in delivery of the promises set out in the formal offer document. What's more, tenants would be able to become members of NPT Homes and would not only have a bigger say in how the organisation would be run, but would also be able to monitor its performance.
Now, what about the tenants who've been working hard over the last year to make sure that tenants' views have been considered by the council when developing the offer document? Let's hear from Alan Sinfield, lead member of the Tenant Representative Panel, the TRP.
The TRP is a group of very committed tenants who are determined to make sure that all tenants have every opportunity to influence the future of our homes. We appointed the Independent Tenants Advisor, Tactet Dome, to support us and all other tenants and leaseholders during the consultation. There's a lot of misinformation circulating about the proposed transfer and what it could mean for your home and services. Tactet Dome is here to provide independent and impartial advice and information about the proposed transfer. If you have any questions or hear anything that you're uncertain about, please give them a call to check the facts. It's up to you to make up your mind and vote in the ballot. Remember, your home can't vote, but tenants can.
Now, if you've got your own question about the proposed transfer, or if you want to start getting more involved, here's how you can get in touch. Phone the council's free phone line on 0800 652 5471 or tact at Dome, your independent tenant advisor, on 0800 919 994. So there you go. You heard the facts, and soon it'll be make your mind up time. Remember, only you can decide if transfer goes ahead. It's a big decision, so think carefully, and when the time comes, don't forget to use your vote. Think about what you want to see. I'll leave the last word to Council Leader, Councillor Ali Thomas. Thanks for watching.
If you care about the quality of your home and your estate, and I'm certain you do, you must think carefully about the proposed transfer to NPT Homes. NPT Homes would do its best to ensure that wherever possible, local contractors and suppliers are used, increasing the opportunities for local people and contributing to the ongoing regeneration of Neath Port Talbot, which means more employment, not just now, but for future generations. We believe transfer is a real opportunity for you, our staff, and the whole of Neath Port Talbot, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We have been honest with you. We believe staying with the council would not mean things would stay the same. Very difficult decisions would need to be made, but only you can decide. It's your choice, it's your home. Please make sure that you use your vote. We may never, ever get another opportunity like this one.